Big Batty Kings, Queens and everything in between. Welcome back to Antics with Ash. This is actually my first solo pod, which is fucking scary. I don't know why. I just think the thought of chatting completely by yourself with no one to bounce off of for 40 blood clot minutes is a lot. It's just a bit daunting. I don't know. So I'm really happy to have you all here on this journey with me. Also, me chats by myself for 5 hours every day. So it really isn't that deep. Anyway, we are in that Christmas limbo period. Okay, guys. Christmas to New Year. Let's be honest. We don't know Wagwan. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is. I don't know my own name. All I know is that I'm a walking profiterole, and that's okay. So be okay with that, okay? This ep, have you noticed I'm in my comfies? I've got my little blanket. We're chilling today. It's very much the vibe. So this ep, I want to touch on New Year's resis. And let's just talk about that for a second, because first of all, New Year's resolutions, I think, are bad vibes, straight bad vibes. I just think it's all very negative. It's all very, what did I do? What can I do better? How can I be better? I'm shit. It's just all a bit neggy. So last year, I basically made the decision that instead of doing New Year's resolutions first, I was going to do gratitudes for the year, right? Write down everything I did good, what I was super happy with. And this can be like as deep or as not deep as you like, by the way. This can be like, I loved the fact that I looked slay on April the 21st, 2023. That's fine. You can literally write that. So I basically decided I was going to do all my gratitudes, write down what I was really happy with, all the things that I'm grateful for. That could be family, friends, this, that, and the other. And then after doing that, while I'm on this like positive spin of life, then you do what we think we can do better, right? I just think that sets a better tone than, why am I so shit? This is what I should do next year. I just think that's really not the way we want to go into 2024. It's certainly not the way I want to go into the new year. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to unpack the New Year's resolutions together and let me know yours. I want to know what yours are. And I also want to know if you feel my suffering with any of mine, okay? So I'm going to get mine up, okay? First of all, this is my New Year's resolution every year, and I actually hate that I haven't conquered it yet. Timekeeping. It's a disease. I cannot get anywhere on time. And I've been putting it down to my ADHD, but that's a cop-out. It's a cop-out thing, a straight cop-out thing. I've realised I just need to do better, right? And I actually saw this meme, no, this kills me. I saw this meme that was like, my toxic trait is I think I can get everywhere in 30 minutes. That is me. I think everything takes 30 minutes and it simply doesn't. In fact, I'm going to set the scene for you. Let's do some girl math. So if I need to be at the dancery at 7 p.m, I will first think, I'm not getting there for 7 p.m. because am I a rascal? I'm not setting up the lighting. Nobody's going to be there. I'm not going to be the first one there because that's lame. I'll go for 8, right? In my head, I can do my makeup in an hour. There's the first lie. That's completely untrue. It takes me 2 hours to do a good beat face, as in if I'm chilling, listening to tunes, brucking my back midway through, maybe messing around with a new eye makeup look. That's 2 hours, okay? I will then say that it takes me 30 minutes to get to the venue. Second lie of the day. That's completely incorrect. It takes an hour to get to the venue, right? So now I'm thinking, if I need to be at the dancery at 8, I will start getting ready at 5. Because I think an hour for makeup, half an hour to get there. Yeah, bish, bash, boshing, real good noshing. That is completely untrue, right? And this goes for like all my life. This is what I do everywhere. It just does not make sense. So I've basically decided I'm going to be one of these time blocking girlies. Let's see how this pans out because, so my manager manages Grace Beverly. If you guys know who Grace Beverly is, an entrepreneur baddie babe. And I just said, it must be so interesting for you, to my manager, to manage us two, because we just don't operate the same. She is, I get up at 6. I wash my hair between 6 and 6:30. At 7, I eat my cereal. I'm like, oh my God, must be nice. Whereas I message my manager at 10 a.m, having woken up from a hangover, like, shit, last night just got lit. I'm so sorry, starting work now. And then my whole day is fucked. So basically, my whole big thing for the year moving forward is I need to sort that out and get a grip. And I don't think I'll ever be as good as a Grace Bev in terms of time blocking. Like, I'm going to start small and I'm going to be kind to myself because I can't put in my calendar when to wash my hair. I just can't do it. But I know that I need to just be a little bit more strict. And I know girlies and guys will definitely be able to sympathise with this. If you're a late queen, time blocking. And I'm just going to start having like a nice diary every day. On a Sunday, I'm going to put down what I need to do for the week. And obviously this changes, right? Life changes, you've got to go with the waves, but this is the plan, okay? So if you guys want to do, let me know if you're going to do this with me because I want some moral support here. So if anybody else is bad at timekeeping, we're in this together. Secondly, okay, being a bit more present. This is something that I've really noticed this year where I've been a lot busier. And I think because my brain moves at 100 miles an hour, I cannot bear the thought of having a really busy day tomorrow. In my head, I can't just enjoy the now because I'm like, but tomorrow I need to wake up and do this. I've got all of these things to achieve. My God, and then I start to spiral. So my whole thing is just to be in the present a little bit more, enjoy it. Don't get so fixated over what's to come and what needs to be done. Obviously plan. I'm not saying like turn up to important things and be like, oh shit, I didn't prep. Don't be that girl, but just be in the present and enjoy it because also time goes so quickly. This year has flown. As in, I cannot believe how quickly it's gone. I'm just going to wish you all happy Easter now because that's where we're at. Like, Feliz Navidad is done. It's done. So I just think be present, enjoy everything a little bit more. And I think we could all do with doing that. You know when people are like, oh, it's the little things, the small things in life. It really is. And I remember this film. I can't remember what the film's called. You guys should watch it. I think it's called About Time. Have you seen it?
My favourite film.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good, right? About Time is unreal. It's basically, the whole premise of the film is, if you could do that day again, what would you do differently, right? And it's insane to watch. It's almost like you watch this man kind of have this day, right? And you're so bogged down by the meaningless little things that happen in that day. He dropped his coffee, ruined half his day because then he was in a mood, this, that, and the other. And then you watch him experience that whole day again. And all of those things that were really, in the grand scheme of life, nothing. Dropping your coffee, who gives a ras? I'll get a new one. Like, it's fine. And all of these little things that he thought that affected his day really didn't. And what actually mattered were these little pockets of time that he was spending with his loved ones and his dad. Oh, I'm not even going to give any of it away because it will have you in streams of tears. Molly, were you dying when you were?
I cry every time.
Oh my, I was.
Especially that day, the bit that he's doing the day and you're like, fuck me, life is precious.
Right, and he has this really limited amount of time with his dad in the film. So without giving too much away, yeah, his dad is poorly. And you just realise, God, why do I sweat over so many little things? And I have found myself doing that a lot this year. And I'm really just trying to nip that in the bud because we can't have that anymore, right? So being present. Next, are we ready? Oh, okay, making more time for family. That actually crosses over nicely into the previous one. But again, family aren't going to be here forever, guys. My dad, I only moved out of London, moved into London, 2 years ago, right? I was in Watford, so not far, only like 30 minutes away. But I used to live with my dad. He was my everyday person. And I've realised as busy as I've got this year, I've just not been able to see him as much. I barely see him. And that breaks my heart because I've been thinking about it and I'm like, God, we don't have much time with our parents. We just don't. And that I guess you can spin that in a way of it sounding really morbid and sad. But it's not. It's almost like this exciting thing of, okay, I have this window of time with you. Let's just go nuts and spend loads of time together and do new things and have new experiences. Me and my dad are actually planning a climb in Malaysia next year, Mount Kinabalu. It's like this massive mountain trek. And who knows, I don't even know if we're going to make it back alive, really and truly, from this trek, because me and my dad, when we go on trips together, it's chaos. There was one time where we were in Borneo. Oh my God, guys, no, you're actually going to die. We were in Borneo in a jungle. And my dad is a true traveler. Like, his worst nightmare is going on an all-inclusive holiday where everybody in the hotel is British. He's like, why the hell would you travel? And I agree with him. And he's very much instilled that in me. So we ended up in Borneo in a jungle. We said no to the jungle guide. Apparently, we know better than the jungle guide. So we were like, yeah, no worries. We can trek this jungle on our own. Can we trek this jungle on our own? We ended up, oh my God. So we ended up, we were losing daylight. And at first I was fine with this. I was like, look at us out on the open road. We're in the jungle. We are explorers, right? I was like, Christopher Columbus could never, with what me and my dad were doing on this day. We were trekking in the jungle. We were taking pictures. We were seeing animals. It was amazing. Now I've turned to my dad and I've said, do you know the way back? He's gone, funny, no. I was like, right, and we're losing daylight. And I'm talking, this is a jungle full of critters, crawlies, rabid beasts, okay? So I said, what are we gonna do? We are losing daylight and we can't make it back in the dark, so we need to hurry up. We then ended up being attacked by leeches. No, we had to abandon our shoes, right? So we had to leave our shoes in the jungle because all the leeches and red ants were filled in our shoes. We fled the jungle. We managed to make it out, when I say by the skin of our teeth. It was the most funniest experience ever. Now when we talk about it, we're like, oi, do you remember that day in the jungle? And my dad just goes crazy. It was mental. And people don't even believe me when I say the story. They're like, how did you find yourself in this position? I'm like, honestly, because we're just in hell. We always are. But it makes me think, like, those experiences are literally invaluable. So if you're thinking about it, if you're thinking I need to plan a little bit more time with my parents, with my family, with my sister, with my cousins, whoever it may be, plan a trip. Because honestly, the time that you spend with them on that trip and the stories you'll have to tell will last a lifetime, I promise you. So that's another big one that I'm taking into 2024. Okay, my next one. My next one is to stop thinking that I need work done on my face. Can we, say it louder for the people down in the back, because actively it's so damaging, right? I think the internet is getting slightly better with this, right? I think it used to be very much that all we saw on Instagram, on Facebook, like back in the day, was just beautiful people, right? You're literally seeing the best of people's lives. You're not seeing my girl who is absolutely stunning, who has 30-inch locks and always looks like she's ready for a photo shoot. You're not seeing her go through her breakup and that actually her life is in shambles. So it just gives us this completely unrealistic ideal of what our life is meant to be. Of course you're going to feel shit, right? And I do think the internet's getting a bit better with this. I feel like the likes of TikTok, big up, thank you for changing my life. I just think seeing more real people on the internet is very much becoming the trend now, which I love. I think that's so much better. You're seeing the rise up of just funny people that have stuff to say, and it's not all based on looks. I've actively had to unfollow. I used to follow like Victoria's Secret models and shit. And honestly, when I wake up and wipe the crust from my eyes and I'm seeing a Victoria's Secret model, size -2, who looks unbelievable, and I literally look like Coraline, I'm like, what do we do now? What now? And I find myself looking in the mirror and like pinning back my eyes and doing this with my face and being like, oh, maybe I could just put 3 litres of cement in that. No! stop. We've got to stop. Because I've really had this, especially in the past, 3 months. I think very much being in this industry as well. God, it's such a thing in this industry, being in the media space where you're kind of always expected to be camera ready. You're always expected to look your best, turn out a slay outfit, this, that, and the other. And I found myself really almost not liking what I see in the mirror, which is a madness because your friends would tell you otherwise. You know, if you would say to your friends, what do you see when you look at me? They would say literally a beautiful person, someone that has great sense of humor, this, that, and the other. And they'll reel off all these things about you that make you you. And I'm finding myself thinking, why am I looking in the mirror and being like, I'm not slaying today? It's just shit. So I've decided we're really going to work on that this year. And if that means kind of removing some of these toxic ideals from your eye line, then that's what you need to do. I literally just had a conversation with Mariam Musa there where we were saying comparison is the thief of joy. And it literally is. Like, nobody is you. And that sounds so cliche, like, nobody's you, that's your superpower. But it is. It literally is. Like, you are never going to get another you. You have to do what you can with the cards that you've been dealt. And that is that. And, you know, it's a really big one for me this year, especially the past month. I've been feeling really not in my gym bag as much. I'm huge about my fitness and life has got super busy and I just feel like I've not had the time to focus on it. And I immediately, the kind of personality I am, I just spiral. If I'm not doing something, I'm either really doing something or not doing it. I'm a very all or nothing person. So if I'm in my gym bag, I'm in my gym bag. If I'm not, I'm a couch potato. I'm an oven-baked McCain's, not even the fresh ones, the ones that you get from the freezer and you put them in for 5 minutes. That's how I feel. So I'm really trying to just be a bit more consistent with those things and be just less hard on myself. Like, if you're going, and you have different seasons of stuff, you might have a season where your work is taking over your life to blood clot, and that's fine. Let it happen, because then you'll also have a season where that's going to ease up a bit. You're going to be able to go away a little bit more. You might have a bit more chill time where you can focus on the gym. So that's really what I'm trying to do this year, okay? Oh, okay. Love Live. Molly's creasing over there because she knows that I'm the fact that all I've written here, genuinely word for word, is love life equals pattern yourself. I've just written pattern yourself. Guys, I don't know what it is. I tell you what, I know I keep doing, and I know a lot of people can relate to this, is that I keep doing this thing where if I've been seeing someone and it hasn't worked out, I will take every trait that I think was missing in that person and I will look for it in the next person, but to like the nth degree. So if I've got like a funny king who hasn't really got his life together, but is really charismatic and this, that, and the other, and it didn't work out, I'm dating a finance bro next. That's got the personality of a plank of wood. Do you see what I mean? And then the balance, the scales are all over the shop. And I just find I'm either going from one extreme to the other, and I'm just not finding like a balance. And I don't know why I can't get the balance right. I also think this is really hard to do when you're trying to figure out what you like, right? And as you're evolving, what you like is evolving. Like, it's changing every day. The fuck boys that I used to fuck with, they're not looking so great anymore. You know, oh my God, you'll be able to sympathise with this. You know, back in school, I know, I love this, right? Think about the sexiest boy in year 8. And I mean like that guy, the guy that got all the nyash, that was just it, that everyone loved, that was popular. The sexiest boy in year 8, where is he now?
Prison.
Thank you, prison. Facts. The sexiest boy, and this is how much we evolve as we age and as we learn and as we grow. Like, we literally, the people that we thought were unbelievably lit back then are just not it now. And that's literally the same with dating. Like, it's the same thing. Guys, I can't even tell you, I was the ugly duckling in school. And that's why... Say it louder. Say it louder. It's true, though. I literally was. And I remember thinking, fuck, if there's anything I'm going to be, it's a funny queen. It's a comedy queen, because that I can back myself to the death. And I remember feeling actually so shit about it, because people used to be like, I had really gorgeous, beautiful friends growing up and in secondary school. And I remember the boys, I went to an all-girls grammar school, by the way. Can you cope? Yeah, I know, it's mad. So I remember we had a boys' equivalent of the girls' grammar school. So we had a boys' grammar, and that was who, you know, we'd fuck with. After school, you'd kind of be like, oh, like, what are the boys from boys' grammar doing? And you'd all, you know, message this, that, and the other, and you'd meet up in the park. And that was our only bit of male interaction ever, right? So that was a huge thing for us. I remember going into the bathroom, slapping Dream Matte Mousse foundation on my lips. Do you remember this time of life?
Yes.
Oh my God, why did we put Dream Matte Mousse foundation on our lips?
Where did that come from?
Where did that come from?
That
I don't know. I don't know, but it was the cool. If you weren't doing that, you weren't slaying.
It was no lips.
Yeah.
Zero lips.
And what the worst thing about it was, it literally gave the illusion, if you had thin lips already, God rest your soul.
Oh my God.
They would literally just...
Like an arsehole, my mouth like.
Yeah, like a watertight arsehole. Your mouth would end up just looking like this. Nothing to it. Not one bit of projection. And I don't know why we did that to ourselves. So we actually do need to unpack that. So if anybody knows where the foundation on the lips trend came from all those many moons ago, please let me know. But yeah, I remember that was a huge thing for us. The boys' school, that was our only bit of male interaction. We'd get ourselves all dolled up, this, that, and the other, in the girls' bathroom that stank. And we'd take ourselves into town with our little allowance of what did you have for the day? Like 10 quid? Mate, if you're lucky, that's actually quite a bit. I remember being like, knowing that I only had about a tenner a day. So you would know that a McDonald's cheeseburger was 99p and chips and a drink. I was like, minor, 3 quid, done. That's my meal for the day. And then I've got £7 to do utter chaos and tomfoolery with. And somehow you worked it out. That's what was mental. You'd be able to get drunk when you were younger off 7 quid. I can't believe that.
3 bottles of Frosty Jacks. Done.
Frosty Jacks?
Yeah.
No, see, I used to have, what was that White Star? Oh,
disgusting.
Piss in a bottle, White Star was. But I remember I used to have White Star. And for some reason, you just made it work, right? And I remember we'd go and hang out with the boys, this, that, and the other. And I remember when they were planning parties and stuff for the weekend, we were getting to that age where we were starting to rebel a bit. You know, we wanted to drink, we wanted to do house parties, we wanted to do this, that, and the other. We wanted to be outside. You start to see the world and you're like, wow, there's so much wonder and splendour here. I want to be on these streets, okay? And I remember the boys used to text my beautiful friends, hey, I'm having a party, this, that, and the other, bring so-and-so. Oh, and bring that funny girl. And I used to be like, no, not bring the funny girl. Obviously, I'd go and I'd be live at the Apollo the entire time. But that's besides the point. I remember just thinking, my God, when is my glow up going to come? Please, Lord, let it come soon. But yeah, anyway, that was a whole time of life that was very interesting. So what I'm saying is, the moral of the story is, the people that were cool and that were hip and this, that, and the other, if you were an ugly duckling in school, don't sweat it. Honestly, the world is your oyster. Today is your oyster. Because I always think this. Me and my girls always have this conversation. We're like, everybody who you thought was going to be successful at school, and I don't even know what what was the criteria for being lit at school? I actually can't remember. But all of those people, I can guarantee you, are not doing the most now. So basically, hold tight. The glow up is always coming. You can have your glow up in like your 30s or 40s as well. So let's just unpack that, okay? Right, and they're my New Year's resolutions. That's actually it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really want to do. Oh, I'm going to learn to DJ. Yeah, basically, I also decided that I want to keep learning new skills. Because I do think we're guilty as we get older of thinking that we just know everything or just not being inquisitive enough to try something new. And think about back in the day when we were at school, bloody hell, the extracurriculars went off. I used to do saxophone lessons, violin lessons. I used to go to hockey school after. Honestly, there was so much. And I just think as adults, life gets in the way and we just don't explore things anymore. And you can't find new hobbies and you almost just surrender to the fact of, oh yeah, like these are my hobbies. I don't have any more. Are you joking? We've got so much to explore still. So I decided that was my whole thing. I'm going to learn to DJ. That's going to be the new skill that I'm going to take into the new year. I've decided I'm going to be called BBG, Big Batty Gal, obviously. And yeah, I'm holding myself accountable. So I'm glad I've said it on here because that means that I absolutely cannot decide that I don't want to do that now. So this is me holding myself accountable. I am learning to DJ this year and I am going to be a party on wheels. So you wait till I put on the events. So if anybody is thinking about starting something new or they're a little bit afraid or they want to explore something, I just think now or never. Do it. Make this year be the year that you just, even if it means investing a little bit of money into yourself, put that money aside and just say, I'm going to have a piano lesson once a week. Why not? Learn a new skill, okay? Now, I also put a little question box out on my Instagram today and people have written in some really fun things actually, so I want to go through them. Oh my God, this one is really funny. What's your meal deal choice? All right, I'm going to tell you exactly what my meal deal choice was. And bear in mind, it doesn't matter what my financial position in life was. I will make it to M&S. I do not care, rain or shine. M&S slaps ass. It's so good. It really is. Like, no meal deal compares. Tesco, Sainsbury's, like, they're all right. They're all right. Nothing compares to M&S. I remember there were times where I was in utter squalor and I would still make it to M&S to get their meal deal. And mine would be a chicken bacon Caesar wrap. Yeah, the one that's just like full. It's 55,000 calories, but who cares? That, their sweet chili crisps, and I always like an iced tea. I'm a real iced tea girly. It can be a Lipton, or if you're going to be bougie, it can be some sort of ginseng moment. But a Lipton iced tea goes, oh my God, such a long way for me. So that's my meal deal of choice. Let me know what yours are. Okay, next. Worst sex experience. Right. So, do you know what? I actually have loads. No, this is the one I'm going to tell. It's crazy. So I was briefly speaking to this guy, an utter fuckboy, just all the credentials of someone who's going to break your heart. He was awful. And I remember thinking, obviously, 20-something-year-old me was like, yay! That's exactly what I'm looking for. I was speaking to this guy. He came to pick me up in his car. All right, we're sitting in his car. I think, you know, that time of life when you don't really have much to do and you've not got that much money, so you just drive around. It was that time of life where you just go on car drives with your friends because there was nothing else to do. That's what I did with this guy. All right, so we've gone on a car drive and we went to these woods near me called Whippendale Woods, okay? And that was the woods that everyone went to when they were young. People used to like smoke weed and stuff in the woods. You know, when you just park up and you have fuck all business being there, but you're there. That's what me and this guy did. We're chatting, this, that, and the other. We start to get down to some hanky-panky, right? In my head, I'm thinking, oh my God, we're going to do it in the woods. We're in the car still, right? By this point, we're completely naked. I'm in the back seat of this car, right? And we are getting down to business. I kid you not, I look to my right. The woods are completely black and we are the only car in this car park. I look to my right and I see, it was frightening. A man in a top hat, a long trench coat, And gloves on, guys. He had gloves on. It's giving Jeffrey Dahmer like this through the screen. Me and him, butt naked, by the way, look to our right. I've never heard a man reach that level of what frequency, that level of frequency in my life. He screamed for his life. We were petrified. This man was just like this, up against the screen. We have jumped into the front seat. We're both starkers. We're both butt naked. We've got no clothes on, but it didn't matter. We jump into the front seat. He pelts it out of this woods. And the man, the mystery man in the top hat, I don't know what he was, just retreated back into the woods. Because I couldn't work out if this man was a serial killer that lived in the woods or if he was just there and thought it was a dogging spot. Maybe unbeknownst to me, I'm just a young girlie at this point. I've got no idea that I'm in a prime time dogging spot. And that must have been what was the case. Because he was there, he was looking up, pressed up against the screen. Oh my, I never spoke to that boy again, by the way. We literally drove home. He was shook. We were both shook to the core. He dropped me home. I don't even think we spoke on the way back. We didn't speak. He dropped me off and we never spoke again. So that was my worst sex experience. Try and top that. Okay, next. I love these questions. Question time is so good. Somebody wrote in a question saying, what's your body count? And I was like, please, someone put this boy in the wheelie bin. As in, what, right?
Can we leave body counts in 2023?
Can we leave body count in 2009? I can't believe body count is still a thing and people are pressed by it. It just, honestly, not me. I'm a sexually free girly. Also, your body count doesn't explain anything. You're like, I don't understand. People try and equate somebody's body count to, I don't know, how respectable they are, their morals, their this, that, and the other. Let me tell you, I know some men who are horrid and have not slept with many girls. The maths is not mathing. That is not the equation. Let's get over that. And even, I think girls actually often say, I mean, it's a huge thing for guys. Straight males are just hell in general. But straight males often have this thing of, if her body count is this and that, I ain't chatting to her. I ain't checking for her. No one's checking for you, bro. Your breath smells, okay? No one's checking for you. Body count, nobody cares. And girls, I have heard a few girls say, if you slept with loads of girls, it's a bit off-putting, it's this and that. And I could genuinely say I've just never felt that way. I know people, if you're single, you're single. Be single, be free, be out here, be on the streets. That's what being single is for. And then when you're in a relationship, be in a relationship, right? Body count, blocker. We're Xing it. We're not doing that anymore. Okay, this is a good question, actually. Right. If you were a lesbian, who would you smash the most in Locked In?
Ooh, good question.
Bro, Tennessee, that girl, she's jarring. She's actually jarring. I remember waking up, right, I feel like the Grim Reaper. I'm on this rickety old bed in Locked In, and I'd look over the other side of the room and my girl looks like she's about to go to the Grammys and she's just woken up. She genuinely just wakes up looking like that. I'd love to lips her. So, yeah. Tennessee, do you want a lips? I know she wants to as well. We've actually had this conversation, so we would.
You said it on the pod.
Yes, she did. She actually did. Oh, I actually love her. This one is a really nice one. This is more wholesome, so let's not talk about my sex life anymore. How to gain more confidence and not care what people think. I really like this one, and the reason why I want to touch on it is because I can only speak from my kind of journey into doing this. And it's so interesting. I remember when I looked at social media and success and things like that, I really only saw it as you only really get anywhere if you're good looking. Really, that is what I thought. And I remember there was a whole period of my life when all I was doing was trying to be perfect on Instagram. Everything was it was like an overly sexy bit. Honestly, it's actually embarrassing. If you guys saw my old Instagram, you'd be like, this is hell and horror, and this is so not Ash. I remember I used to go to places and people would be like, you are so not your Instagram. And I was like, what? And I couldn't understand it. I was like, what did you expect? Did you expect me to have the personality of a piece of lettuce? I don't get it. And they said, you are not what you're showing the world. And I really couldn't make sense of it for so long. And now I see it so clearly. I remember I was trying so hard to be one of these good-looking influencer girlies. I was posting all these pictures all the time that I really didn't care for. I really didn't care. I used to go out and actively be like, I must get a fit pic tonight. Otherwise, the night's lost and this is going to go on my Instagram and, everyone's going to love it. And I remember when I just got over that, I just started to realise no one gives a shit. And honestly, I can safely say the only success that I've seen has been in the past year, 2 years of my life. And that's when I have been totally and unapologetically myself. And I really didn't think the internet was ready for this chaos. I didn't. I was like, people are not going to get it. I've always been this way with my friends, my family, anybody that's close to me would say, Ash has always been this way. And I genuinely just thought if I was to be myself on the internet, people aren't going to get it. They're going to think it's too weird. Boys won't fancy me. People will think it's too much. I just thought it was not going to go down well. And I honestly, whenever I get this question, I actually get young girls asking me this a lot in my DM requests. And so this goes out to you lot, that if you say, how can I get over this? How can I be more myself? How can I be more confident? Honestly, just remove this thing in your head that makes you think that you need to be something. Don't look at somebody and say, I need to be more like them. I need to do more of this. I need to do more of that. Honestly, that has never worked for me. Never. The moment I said, I'm going to stop giving a ras about what people think, I'm going to be as chaotic as tits on the internet. And if people like it, great, they're my kind of people. If people don't like it, honestly, and I can safely say that was the best thing I ever did, was to stop caring. And that's easier said than done. We are always going to have this thing where we care a little bit about what people think, because we're humans. We are literally hardwired to give a shit. But honestly, just be yourself. Find your niche. Find your thing that you like to do. Find something that you're interested in and just do it. And it will pay off. It will pay off. On that gorgeous, gorgeous note, that's it. So may this year bring us success, joy, love, more of being ourselves. Honestly, I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you for joining in with me on my very first solo pod. It's felt really alien, actually. It's very weird, but I hope you guys liked it. If you want more